Alright guys, so I'm literally filming this at work because apparently my break is the only time I have to make a video. I just wanted to kind of jump on here and tell you what happened while I was making the Burn Fire Burn video. Because the finished video, it looks dramatic and it looks mystical, and well, the making of it was not so much. What you don't see is me getting attacked by wasps, and I'm trying to build a fire with recently wet wood and racing a thunderstorm. So yeah, it was a whole thing. But I thought it'd be fun to kind of show you what actually went into making of the video. So this project started when I heard the song from Echoes of the Pattern Born. I can imagine fire, and I can imagine the woods and something Celtic and earthy, almost like a woman who was being reborn from the ashes. And once I get these ideas in my head, they're happening. So I wanted to blend some of my Celtic background with my belly dance influence and experience. But I didn't want it to be like a normal dance video. I kind of wanted it to be like a tiny dance film. So I knew I needed a costume. But that's where the first problem began. Okay, real talk here. So in my head, I knew exactly which costume I was going to pick out because, you know, after performing all these years, I have a vast amount of costumes. Seriously, like a ridiculous amount. All right. So I thought, you know, I was going to go into my costume closet. I was going to find something easy. So apparently I got a little fluffier since my performance days. And it was almost like my costumes were saying, "We remember you, ma'am, but we're not going to cooperate today." You know, I'm working on getting my body back to shape. I just want to feel the best when I dance, right? But bodies change and life happens. And at this moment, I could either feel, you know, sit there feeling bad about the extra squishiness, or I could figure something else out because I still wanted to create. I still wanted to dance. I know a lot of you can relate. And you know what? That's okay, okay? I didn't want to wait for a future version of myself showed up before I allowed myself to get back to my dance, to get back to creating. So, time for a new plan. So I started going through fabric, and I went through old costume pieces. I went through the thrift store. I pretty much was looking for anything that I thought reminded me of Celtic fire warrior lady. I started building. I didn't really have a pattern. I just kind of went with the flow. I kind of figured that this was either going to look amazing or we would have some type of conversation starter. Piece by piece, it started coming together, and when the whole thing was done, I loved it. Honestly, I'm glad that the original pieces didn't work out because I probably wouldn't have created this costume. And what I created, you know, became better than I imagined. And it really fit that character. And most importantly, it fit me now, not me of 5 years ago. It didn't fit some imaginary future me. It fit the woman who was going to go outside that day and dance. And I think there's something worth remembering there. You don't have to wait until you look like exactly how you used to look or how you imagine future you looking, right? Because you're allowed to enjoy again. You just need to meet yourself where you are, or buy a bigger costume, or use lots of safety pins. But anyway, crisis averted, and Celtic Fire Lady achieved. Alright, so filming day arrives. I get in my costume, I fix my hair, I put on my makeup, you know, I head outside and I have this whole beautiful version in my head. I'm imagining fire and I'm imagining dancing and a field super dramatic. I head out and apparently Mother Nature had other plans because the ground was wet, like water on the ground, and it made building a fire so much more difficult. But I thought, hey, it's okay, I can work with this. And then came the wasps. Apparently I had chosen their filming location, so here I am trying to channel this mysterious, badass Celtic woman, all while dodging these wasps, you know? And nothing says ancient Celtic warrior like running away from flying little insects. Very cinematic, very mysterious, very glamorous, but I kept going. So I started looking at the sky and I noticed that, oh boy, a storm is rolling in. So at this point, I'm looking at my costume and I'm looking at the sky and I'm thinking, I spent way too much time on this costume. So I started filming, and I started filming fast. So I began to dance, and soon all the chaos, it just disappeared. You know, between the storm and the wet ground and the wafts and making the costume, this is what came out of it. And that's why I love doing this. Alright, well that is the considerably less glamorous version of Burn Fire Burn. And despite all that craziness, we were able to bring you a fun dance film. Now, if you haven't seen it, I'll go ahead and post the full video below. And just remember, every time you watch a video and see that mysterious look, I may or may not be dodging an angry hornet behind the camera just to bring you a video. Alright guys, see you next time. Bye-bye.